What is good, people? It's about that time. Little payout season. So I'm eligible for a little 10K payout, and this is after a massive 2 month losing streak. So you can see here my last payouts were pretty much 14K in the month of November, the last one being pretty much the start of December. And for the next 2 months, I well really 3 months, all of December, all of no January, February, I was straight losing my ass off. Maybe besides February when I got it back up, but losing. And it was because I couldn't accept the fucking loss. I just kept crashing out, and it was just that I couldn't accept the loss. But eventually, I had some hit. I had to hit rock bottom. I had to lose majority of the money that I made to reflect and realize that I need to change. And that's just everybody's gonna have a different tolerance, a different reflection point. Some people they might lose two evals and they realize I gotta fix them, but I'm just a real hard headed person. But yeah, 10K payout. This is my stats. So 72% win rate, 2.46 average loss profit factor, 6.57 whatever that means. And the only reason I got this payout is because this day right here. So this day I took a win, had my auto lock out of 300. This day I took a loss, auto lock out of 300. Now what happened was I only got locked out on my leader account. For some reason Topstep bugs out and only locks out your leader account if you're copy trading. So my followers, I could have taken another trade. I could have kept trading on my followers account. But I said I took a loss. I can keep trading right now, but you know what? I'm gonna just call it, follow my rules. And I kid you not, that I felt like me doing that. I knew the Lord was gonna reward me. Next day, two bands, a little winning day, 1.5, a little winning day, 4K, 10K payout across 5 accounts, and it all goes back to this day right here. So it, this trading shit is real simple, and it just goes back to not burning it in one day, because that's always been my problem is I can catch really good trades, but the one day I'd lose, I just lose it all. So I never had let that edge play out. You can see here 400, minus 300, 1500, 600, 160, 900, 400, 200. I lost, and then 600, and that was it. So, if you want to see the trades I took, I can make a separate video going into, what I took. But I'm going to go ahead and request that payout. So request payout. Continue. I have a Wise account, and I'm gonna put my details in before it shows everything. Give me a second. So going to the next couple steps, I guess I can show this. There's not really any information on here. So this is what it looked like once you get past that point. You put your maximum amount, 2036.24. And then I do that across the 5 accounts, confirm payout amount. I don't know what it's gonna say after that since this is like a new setup, so I'm gonna stop it real quick and see. So yeah, it just looks like after you requested, it just goes through. So I would really what I requested was 1800 since they take the 10% or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that 4 more times. Okay. So everything has been requested. Now I just gotta wait till that shit goes through. It takes maybe like I might have it already tomorrow. That shit goes back. It goes through pretty fast, but. One thing I wanted to talk about was how, this shit is possible. And, like, this money, I make this money, like, that shit, I don't really feel nothing because it's just numbers, but it's just the fact that this is possible. I started trading 4 years ago, during the pyramid scheme of IML Academy and, all that shit, the MLM. And that's how I got introduced into trading. But throughout that whole journey, I always knew that there's something in this. And from there, I studied, and I ultimately came across ICT, and then I came across this guy named his YouTube channel is called Liquidity Trader, which he ended up being the co-founder of FX Replay. That was my mentor, Matt Concordia. He was the one that taught me, my first strategy, which that already is like crazy sauce. But I learned off him, And then after I learned off him, last year, in the beginning of last year, I learned from Salman Asiri. I got his mentorship, and that really leveled me up to like a different level. That's where like I got my strategy that I use today is off his, and I mixed it with my knowledge. But after that, my trading, it went to a different level. And then after that, I did get Akram Arachidi's mentorship, and that also took me to another level. Which it all goes back to investing in yourself. A lot of people say, this shit luck, you know, this shit's not possible. It's a scam. But I'm living proof that, hey, I made, what is that, 10 bands in 1 week. I passed these accounts in 3 days. The fastest you could do it is 3 days, or 2 days really, but passed it, and instantly 1 week later, 10 bands. I had $200 in my bank account today, and now I have soon 10 bands. So it just goes to show you that this is possible. I'm a living example, but you have to humble yourself, because my journey is I graduated last year from university, bachelor's in computer engineering. I had a full ride scholarship. And January of last year, graduated. I said, it's either I go into, my career, I get a coding job, I'll probably get 90K, 100K a year, or I go into trading full time. And let me tell you something, I had not made a single dollar before I made that decision. I was losing money. But I was so delusional, I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go full time trading, full time, I'm gonna make that shit fucking work. And I lost my ass for a couple months. But first, I got my first payout, $1,700 with Apex. Which, if you know Apex is one of the hardest companies, to fucking get a payout. But I got a payout. I followed all my fucking rules, and I got a payout. And from there, I lost. After I got a payout, I got a little ego, because I finally saw some results. And I ended up starting breaking my rules. Same shit. Until, one day, I got all those payouts you saw, 14K in November. And from there, that elevated even me more. I got even a bigger ego, and I went even down even harder. And now I'm at this point where I feel like Lord willing, I'm finally stabilizing out. Lord willing. And I got to this point from just throwing myself in the fire. I didn't have no results, but I knew that through faith, through consistency, that this was possible. Because if somebody else did it, I could do it too. And I had to do things that I didn't want to do. My ass did not want to get a job. But guess what? I went and got a job. I went to Amazon and delivered packages all day. Which I'm still working at Amazon right now. It's just they got me as a dispatcher, so, I don't really be delivering like that. But it's the concept that, I went back. I said, fuck it. I'm going to humble myself. I ain't nobody. I'm going to go and, work a job. It's nothing crazy. It's just working a job. But if you know, man, I was just so elevated, that pride, that ego was like, nah, I can't work no job. I'm gonna do this shit without working a job. Which, it's not the smartest thing to do, but I'm just hard headed like that. But the point is you guys can do this too. Whoever watches this video, you just need the right information. And my real, thing I want to do is to start teaching other people. And it's not even for the monetary, for making money. I don't want to start a course to make money. The real reason why is because I was so fucking bored. Once I made that 14K, I quit the fucking Amazon job. I said, fuck it. And I was just trading, and I have so much fucking free time here in my house that I was going crazy. I'm like, what the fuck do I do with all my free time? I couldn't think of something to do. And I was at the point where I want to teach people, but I didn't have the consistency to teach people yet. I didn't have the results of, oh, look at me doing this month by month by month by month. And I felt like if I would have started teaching people there's a couple of people that asked me. I felt like if I would start teaching people, it would be like a fraud because I didn't have my shit together yet. So I'm like, you know what? I need to just, show more consistent results, and then that'll eventually will be, enough results. But that's what I really want to do is, I want to teach, you guys out there, anybody out there, how to trade. Because for me, it would fill up my time. It's something to do. And it's also transferring that skill and seeing somebody else, affected by the knowledge I have. seeing somebody else grow by what I'm telling them, seeing somebody else make it, also, that would be like a beautiful feeling. So, we'll see what the Lord plans out, but hey, leave a comment below. leave a comment. Leave a comment below. I live stream every single day. Every single day. If you look at my lives, I live stream every single fucking day. So, and I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna just keep doing it. And yeah, so that'll be it. Peace.